Good evening and welcome to the channel of the elves. Yes, it has been a while, but we are back and we are going to be doing a tier list for the heroes of Art of War. So I cannot wait to get into this because there's going to be a lot of information to go through. So I hope you're all strapped into your seats and ready to basically rage at all the decisions I make. But I hope everybody's had a lovely week. I hope you're all ready for a lovely weekend, and let's talk about all those glorious heroes that we see in the game we play probably every day, and as they take over our lives completely. All right, so let's finish that. There we go. We don't need that. You don't need that flying in the background. It's too noisy. So now I'm gonna have a little bit of structure to this tier list. I'm actually thinking of setting it up in a way that we're gonna go rare, and we're gonna look at the rares. Then we're gonna go for the epics, and then once we've dealt with the epics, we're going to go on to the legendary. Now, one thing in this game that I really didn't realize until I literally started putting all of this together is how little rare units you have, how little not units, heroes that you have, how little epic heroes you have, and then the sheer fuck ton of legendaries that you have. It's insane. It really is. It makes no sense compared to, what you would expect from game creators. They would give you a ton of rares, a ton of epics, and then only a few legendaries. So very, very strange. But I'm gonna do it into 3 segments. We will tier list each segment one at a time, starting with obviously the smallest one, which is obviously the rare group, which is the blue group. Then we'll move on to the epic group, which is the purple group, and then the one that you'll probably be waiting for, which is the gold group, which is obviously the legendaries. Yes, I hope you're doing good. Tom and Greg, thank you very much for being here so early as well. And hope your work isn't too stressful right now for you. I'm sorry for you, but not here. I'm Smootium. Hey, Smootium. Hey, buddy. Welcome. So, yeah, I'm going to actually, once the stream is over, I am actually then going to edit the stream down to each of the segments that I will have done. And then there'll be 3 more digestible videos then going up on the channel. Hopefully won't take too long for me to do them and get them up, because they will just be what the live stream is, and going through obviously each section. So hopefully we'll have at least the first one up tomorrow, maybe, or the day after, and then we'll have the subsequent, probably like the epic one, and then the legendary one, which will probably be the longest one because there's so many legendaries. It's crazy. Oh, that's awesome, Greg. That's awesome. Welcome, John. Welcome. Jack Shadows. Ah, nice. It's nice to put names to your your like avatar name, I guess, because everybody really knows me as like elves, steel elves, or dark elves. That's been my sort of internet avatar for God knows how long, because I used to stream on Twitch years ago, but yeah, now I just chill and do this game. But yeah, if anyway, my name's Chris. It's easier. Chris is my name, so I got nothing to hide there. But yeah, so elves, I go by many of them because they're the best. Bring elves to Art of War. Seriously, the closest we've got is Freya. That's the closest we've got. God damn it! And she's don't know at the moment. She's good, but not. And then, oh, and yeah, she's that sort of hero. But we'll get to her later on. All right, so let's get this. Let's get the screens up here, and let's show you. Let's have a look. Hopefully this will work. Ha! Joy, it worked. Huzzah! All right, so there we have it. And we've got S rank obviously being the best. We got A, B, C, D, and then straight to F. Fuck the E. Nobody needs the E. Well, maybe some people do. I don't know. Depends what you like doing on the weekend. Now you may wonder, I will probably clap my hands loudly into the microphone. That's just before, so I know when I'm editing the stream later that that is when I'm gonna start the segment about obviously the hero lists. So yeah. Take the edge off. Yeah, definitely. Oh, all right, so let's we're gonna start with the rare group, so we'll get into that and we'll see how we go. Welcome everybody. We are here to go through my very first hero tier list of 2022. The first one we're going to go through is all those glorious early game heroes that you'll probably get, which are in the rare category. It is the blue category, and surprisingly, there's only 5 of them. Now this, I do not understand why a game developer only creates 5 of the very lowest and just go straight into the big ones. But hey, I totally get that everybody's just all about the legendaries. But we're going to pick out, obviously, these rare heroes, and we're going to look at each individual one and basically see where they come into their own tier list. Now I'm going to separate them up into 3 sections. We're going to have rare today on this video. We're going to have epic on another video. Go check that out. And then we'll have the legendary as well. Go check that one out. Now I'm going to prepare for people to riot in stream right now. But we will go through the list. When I do this tier list from S to F, it is purely within that group. All right, so these rare are going to be S tier to F on the rare. I'm not treating one of these rare items, if I put it, one of these rare heroes, if I put it into S tier, it's S tier for rare, not S tier across everybody, across legendaries, etc. It's just the area that they're in, okay? And I just want to say welcome into everybody to the stream as well. I hope you're having a lovely, lovely evening. So let's start on that glorious first one. We have got, oh, that boy, little robot boy. As soon as I saw him, I thought he was pretty cool. But we've got Plank. He's the only one who's actually got text above his head in the actual picture, which is goddamn freaking cool. Now, Plank here, so I'm not putting him, I'm just going to put him there so he's there, okay? This is not C already to start with, okay? Don't panic. Now, this guy only has 2 skills, so you already know where this guy's going to end up. He's got 2 skills. One is particle cutting, and then the other, which is craftsman spirit. Now, both of these, the first one of Plank's most commonly used tools is his laser, which causes additional radioactive damage to the target area. Now, as this levels up, this can go up to 2,000 damage, and it can go up to a lasting damage of 3,000. Now, that sounds pretty freaking cool, but it's not, unfortunately, when you look at the picture of these other rares. Now, the passive skill he's got is Serious Attitude, makes all friendly troops focus intently on each attack, increasing both their attack speed and defense. Now, this goes up to 15%, and the attack speed goes up to 15% as well. So defense increased by 15, and attack speed increased by 15. Plank, he looks cool. He's a robot. Who wouldn't want a robot? But he's only got 2 skills. He's got no extra skills other than those 2 specifically. He's not that Great. Now, robot-wise, I probably would put this guy down into F tier. And that's F tier for the rare. He's useless. Now, the next one we have is Diana, the Jungle Warrior. Now, Diane, she is actually quite good. Now, she only has 2 skills, which, same again, a lot of the heroes in this game, they have 4 abilities once they get to much higher levels. Now, Diana only has 2, like Plank does. But with Diana, she has a much higher damage increase. So she does a stealth assault, which she jumps behind the enemy and deals lots of damage. Now, once she gets to the highest level, she does 4,500 damage. Now that's obviously per hit. Now the cooldown on that is 15, so it takes a while. But the main factor there is she teleports to behind the enemy, which is quite a handy little trick. She also has a passive skill. The normal attack of the Jungle Hunter will temporarily lacerate the enemy's armor, making all damage taken by the target become real damage in the next few seconds. And that's for 5 whole seconds. Now, this is the really good passive skill. Now, especially when you're fighting monsters like Cerberus, mainly Cerberus, I'd say, or you'd have the Manticore and things like that. When you can take down their defense, if you can take down their armor, you are doing pure damage to them. So using Diana here in these circumstances, it's actually very, very good. So I actually think Diana is a very, very good hero in certain circumstances like that. So I would actually put her, and remember guys, this is within the rare factor, it's not across the board. I actually would put Diana in the B group. I'd put her up in the B group for this. Now, plus, she's a jungle warrior. God, what more can I say? Now, the next one we've got is... He's got such a cool name. He's got such a cool name. He's Dante. Dante, come on, Dante's Inferno, for anybody who's, read some freaking cool stories. Now, Dante, he is the minstrel. He also only has 2 skills. First skill is his active skill, which Dante plays a verse from his Purgatory song. The notes pop up and cause damage to the enemy. Now, this, at max level, is 4,500, so similar to what Diana does. The cooldown on it, the best you can get to is 9 seconds on the cooldown, which probably means you could activate it 2 to 3 times during a fight. So it's one of those things, once you get a high level, it is a bit of damage, but is she going to survive that long? Now, the next one is a passive skill. Dante plays a verse from Heaven's secret song, increasing the movement speed of all allied units. Now, the top amount on this, the movement speed increased, is 50%. Now, that is a considerable amount. Once you get Dante to the highest level, which is, well, was it 17? Or was it 15 for res? Is 50%. Now, 50% movement speed. Now, the only units that really would benefit from that movement speed are things like stone golems, ballistas, catapults. They're slow units. Now, having that 50% would be great. Now, you're thinking of other units like maybe undead soldiers. They're super fast anyway. Now, having a 50% increase on that, they'd be running around the map like crazy. Pelasts, running around like crazy, throwing their, throwing their little javelins. Now, that one's kind of a cool little skill. It does go up to 50%, which is a considerable amount, and probably not many of the units, heroes in the game have such a high percentage. But hey. Now, Dante, for me, I honestly can't see him being used a great deal in many circumstances. There are so many better in the rare group compared to him. Now, Dante, I would probably put in the same as Planky Boy, but I put Planky Boy better. He's a robot. So Dante is going down in F. I'm sorry. All right? Sorry. Dante's in Inferno. Yes, that's right. All right. So the next one we have, and let me see if I can get. I always get his name wrong. It's Hohenheim. 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 Now, Hohenheim, without a doubt, is the best rare hero. Without a doubt. One of the main reasons is not because of his damage, his health, or anything like that. It's one of his skills. Now, just like the rest, only 2 skills. The first one is an active skill. Hohenheim Acid Fog continuously damages and reduces the defense of enemies in the target area. This is quite little handy, you know, reduces the defense. That can go up to a maximum of 40%, which is quite considerable. Then you have a lasting damage of 1,000. Lasting damage count is 6. Damage intervals is every 1 second, and the cooldown is 15 on that one. Now, Hohenheim, this is where everybody, I think, can agree on this, is his passive skill called Smelting Aura. With advanced alchemy, Hohenheim increases the quality of friendly troops' weapons and also generates bonus coins from each enemy destroyed in battle. That last bit, bonus coins. So, at his highest level, he can increase the attack, the attack of your friendly weapons by 15%. No, it's quite decent. And then drop coin bonus at max level is 9. So, without a doubt, Hohenheim representing, I'm presuming, Viking Norse mythology. Hohenheim sounds pretty like that. S rank. S rank within the rare group. Alright? Not across the board. Rare. And then, lastly, we have someone that I think is a bit of an unsung hero, I'd say. Now, Life, his name is Life. I call him Tree of Life. But he's not. He's called Green. He's just called Green. I like calling him Life, though. Now, Green, he is a tank. He's a tank and a half. He's got tons of health. That's his main thing. But he also has a feature called Heal. He can heal. His health recovery at max level is 4,800 and a cooldown of 15 on that. So restores a large amount of health for allies. Now, there's one place specifically you would use Green. Green you would really use in the hero trial. Okay, hero trial, Green really does well. I would say you'd probably keep him in for a good while until you'd probably get one of the legendary guys that has heal in the similar way. But Green, honestly, very, very good unit. And early on in the game, Green is a good unit. I'd honestly say that when I started off, I mixed between Hohenheim, Green, and Diana. I ignored Planky Boy and Dante, but as those are the 3 I tend to use. Now, I would actually say the Green would fall in place with Diana. Now, whether I'd put her put Green ahead, I'm not sure, because her defense removal against monsters, against basically the Cerberus and them sort of things, is huge. But then also Green does provide that heal early on in the game. So I'm gonna say actually I would put Green ahead of Diana in these circumstances. So for the rare group, that's it. Those are the heroes you get. There is no more. you'd presume that there'd be at least a few more rares, because when you unlock chests, just keep throwing you rares instead of giving you the higher epics and legendaries. So here is the total assessment of this. We're putting at top of the board Hohenheim, S rank. Without a doubt, his coin bonus alone just puts him up there. He will generate you so much gold in the early game, especially when you're trying to level up from level 1 to 8,000 to basically then unlock basically part 2 of the game. Hohenheim is a must to have before you start unlocking the legendary heroes. Then we got Green and Diana in B rank, and then in absolute F rank we've got Plank and Dante overall. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you understand a bit more about these heroes that are within the rare group. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll hope to see you in the next video, or even the next part of this review, which is going on to the epic heroes. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. And there we have it, guys. Yay, yay, yay. Clap, clap. So that is the epic section. So just gonna chat for a little bit here. Let's just see what we got. We're gonna see people go, what the hell are you doing putting them there? Let's welcome in, Buster. Welcome, my fellow from over in the Reddit. And if anybody hasn't gone over to the Art of War Legion's Reddit, please do so. There's a lovely bunch of people over there, which is rare in Reddit's world, really. But honestly, some lovely people there with a lot of knowledge, probably more than I do. My knowledge is pretty fresh to this game. I've only been playing the game 9 months. I started in January this year, so any knowledge I have, it's been either playing directly just from myself, just seeing things, or ultimately asking questions on Reddit, speaking with other people within like the clan, which we do have a Discord, which is in the link description area. I don't know. It's down there somewhere, where we have my own Discord, and then obviously the Discord of of the clan I'm part of, which is the Hunters. They're really, really cool bunch of people, which a few of them are in chat right now. I'm rioting if Alum isn't S tier. We'll see, Buster. We'll see soon enough, because Alum is in the next batch. Stupid question, but what is the difference between damage and lasting damage? Yes, oh, there we go, Buster, thank you. Damage, a single instance of 500 damage. Lasting damage, 75 damage, repeating over a range of time. Yes, perfect, yeah. I don't know why they use the word lasting damage. I'm sure there's other terminology they could actually use for the, delayed, per second. They could have said just damage or DPS, damage per second, which would have been 75. So, what's the DPS? 75 damage per second, and then it could be like they could have just put it as crit. They could have done. No, they've got crits in the game as well, haven't they? Try to think of a better words for it. But lasting damage, I'm not sure. Hey, Gazo, welcome. Hey, how you doing? Welcome from the classic times of Twitch a few years ago. How are you doing, guys? I hope you're doing well. The list is good. I like that you're breaking it down by rare, epic, and legendary. This will be very helpful for newer users. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking about it, Buster. When I started going, I was going, well, ultimately, I'm just going to throw all the rares into F tier, potentially D, for maybe Green and Diana, if I was to compare them to legendaries and epics, which is completely unfair to them, because they are units that have their very specific needs. I still use Diana for Cerberus sometimes. Life I use within Hero Trial, and Hohenheim I'm only using every now and again once the Jin level up, because I've got Jin to level, I think he's 8 now, and Hohenheim is, what's Hohenheim? Hohenheim is 10, so Hohenheim is going to go into level 11, which he's only on 7 coins, where Jin is on 8, and he's currently 7 coins, but if he gets to 10, he goes to 9. So if I get Jin to 10 before I get Hohenheim to what's it? Is it 12? No, 13. So if I get Hohenheim to 13 first before I get Jin to 10, then I'll go back to Hohenheim, and then Jin once I get to 10 to get the extra coins, because Hohenheim can go up to 9, which is the highest. So once Hohenheim gets to it is 12, isn't it, or 13? 10, 11, 12, no, 13. Once Hohenheim gets to 13, he gets the 9. Jin gets to 9 way earlier, and then Jin would actually get all the way up to 13 coins once he's max. So he will get the most. But legendaries are always a lot harder to get. Really are a lot harder to get. So yeah, I'm happier to do it this way because it gives the epic heroes a chance to like show who are the better ones early on in the game. Once we get to doing the rare section, the epic section next, this one's a bit chunkier. How many we got? We got 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we got 11 heroes. 11 heroes in the epic group. A good mix of heroes. Some of them really good, some of them really bad. But the one thing I learned very early on, and I can't remember who told me, it could have been Reddit, it could have been the clan, I'm really not sure, but credit where it's due. Thank you whoever helped me and told me to stop leveling up Cassandra. She got to level 4. Oh man, she got to level 4 and I have got 24 shards waiting for her to level up, but I'm never going to do it. Greg, sorry, go drop. Thanks else for the content. Nice to meet some of the clan members. Greg, thank you so much for coming by. I hope you have a lovely evening. Hope your work's going well, and yeah, thank you so much for popping by. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. So yeah, I really want to say thank you to whoever it was who said stop leveling up Cassandra, because yeah, that's going to be in one of my tip videos that I am going to be working on in the future, which is going to be like, you know, top 10 tips early on, things like that, and just tips, things you might not know about AOW. So all right, so I think we're gonna pull these guys out now. So we're gonna put these at the back. I'm going to put them at the back. There we go, because we're not going to do them again. There we go. There we go. Oh, we moved a bit. There we go. Okay, I think that's about right. Here we go. So, we're going to go through the epic lots. How many did I say? How many heroes was it? Come on, guys, you need to help me. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Remember that, everybody. 11. God, remembering things. All right. So let's get ready for the epic. Yes, thank you, Buster. Much appreciated, dude. All right. So. Welcome everybody, it's Elves here. We are on part 2 of my series for the Heroes tier list of 2022. We are now on to the epic heroes, those purpley goodness heroes. Now in total, there are 11 of these ones, compared to the puny rares where there was only 5 of them in the previous video. Go check that out if you haven't already seen that one. We are going to review now all 11 of these heroes within the epic genre. We're not comparing these against legendaries. We're not comparing these against the rares. We're just comparing them amongst their peers, because ultimately it's a bit unfair, I'd say, to be comparing these guys and their benefits within that area. Because once you get into legendaries, 95% of the time the legendary is better than the rare and the epic. So there are only certain circumstances otherwise that you would pick out a rare versus a legendary. So I think this way you're getting a better assessment of those units, especially if you're starting up with the game as well, and you're getting a lot more of the rares and the epics in your game before you start then getting your legendaries, which do take a long time to get. Because one thing that I have certainly pointed out in many of my previous videos is this game is a marathon, not a race. It's a marathon. There's no need to rush to get your heroes straight up as quick as you can, because if you do that, it's going to cost you, because it's really going to cost you a lot of gems. It's really going to cost you a lot of like medals, a lot of probably money as well if you really go down that route. Now, so we're going to jump into it, and we're going to jump in with a really, really nice hero. Now, I'm going to always place them in C to start with, because it's just in the middle there. So, the first hero we've got is Ains. Now, this one, the Dark Lord himself. Now, he is one of the Dark heroes, which, without a doubt, I would say, if you're looking to get your Dark units, your Dark troops, up to level 10, you want to get a Dark hero. Now, the choices you have, you've got Ains, Cassandra, you've got Kelvin. Those are the guys within the epic section, and then when you go into legendaries, I think you got about 2 or 3 other ones. 2, 3, yeah, I think it's 3, which is Charon, Mephisto, and the elusive nobody gets other than the high tier players, Azrael, which we will talk about, but the knowledge on Azrael, I will be honest, is very minimal, because he's so elusive. Now, Ains, bearing that in mind, already pushes him up, and I honestly think I'd put him up to a B just based on that, because Ains, I would say you have a much better chance of getting him leveled up quickly, so when you're ready then to get your Dark hero, because you got to get each hero group, you've got to get them to 15 to be able to have a level up into level 10 for those troops. So Ains, I think 9 times out of 10 is the one you're going to get up to that high level the fastest, realistically. Kelvin's sometimes, because he does come out every now and again, but I'd be very unlucky with not getting Kelvin, who is this horse knight guy here, which looks fucking badass. He was actually my main hero when I started playing, because I kept getting good cards early on, and I kept getting him, and he became my main hero for a while, and then switched out once I started getting other heroes up. Now, I would say Ains' abilities here, now he's got 2 abilities. So same again, it's limited like the rares. You're not benefiting like the 4s, which you'll see with the legendaries. The first one he's got is Ains summons his own reflection to join the battle, and it takes on a set percentage of Ains attributes. Okay, now this is a hidden percentage. This isn't even said. So basically what it does, he clones himself. So that means he is out there and a duplicate is out there as well, which means they can separate up, they can cause a bit of disruption amongst themselves. You're looking, he's got decent health, he's not like super weak. Overall, he's quite a good lad. He's quite a good lad. Then we've got another ability from him, which is called Sunder, which is passive. Ains gets a chance to deal bonus damage on each attack. Now, can you imagine? You've got two of these guys, and then they got the passive skill going, which does that chance to deal bonus damage. Now, he's got a critical rate once he's at his highest level, is 55%. So basically every 1 in 2 hits, he will do the crit. His crit damage rate, which at max level, is 450%. So I think, like, I can only really go on what I got. I got a level 7 Ains, and he does 600 damage. Now, if he's critting, and then he's doing, I think he's 275% of that. So what's that? 100% would be obviously another 600. Another 600, so it's 1200, 1800 in total, plus 75. You're looking at what? Nearly about 2,000 something, 2,000 odd damage, and that's just on one hit. You know, that's pretty good. Now, Ains, I'd say, within this area, which is obviously the epic area, I honestly think he's a good hero to have. I'm here at the moment because he's the only hero that we've pulled out so far. He's be here at the moment. B to A. I'm teetering on top end B for now. All right. So our next hero is Cassandra. Cassandra. Now, one thing you need to know about Cassandra. She affects your cards within. I got chat already going. I've already got chat going. No, destroy her. Don't let her become powerful. She actually affects one of the game modes in the game. Okay, she affects Temple of Fusion. Okay, and you may think, oh, okay, well, leveling her up. Yes, leveling her up will affect that. Okay, which is a bad thing because by leveling her up all the way, you're increasing the chance for those cards to flip out of the fusion area. Now, without going into great detail, please obviously join the clan. You will learn a lot about the fusions. The main rule is Cassandra equals bad. People going, no, I want to get rid of her. Now, I was lucky enough that someone either on Reddit or within the clan that I'm in, which is the Hunters, go check them out. Discord in the description somewhere. They said, stop it, don't, stop leveling her up. I got to level 4 and I regret it already, and it's only level 4. I wish someone told me at level 1, but I'm lucky enough that she's level 4 and she doesn't affect it too badly for me. If you've gone past 4 and you're going up into like 5, 10, and worst of all you're going up into 5, you're gonna get affected quite a bit when it comes to the fusions, okay? And there's a big trick with that. Now, Cassandra, she has 2 abilities. One's an active one, throws many tarot cards around herself, stunning and damaging opponents. Max damage 2,000, and that's at her highest level, which you'd never do because that would be silly. Then you got her Minor Arcana, which is a passive skill. In a normal attack, Cassandra throws out one of either the red, yellow, or blue tarot cards, causing damage and different effects. Red does range, which is an area damage. Yellow does a stun, and blue does a cooldown reduction. Now, she won't survive long enough for her to even throw the 3 freaking cards. Let's just say that. She does an area damage, a stun, and a cooldown reduction, which all 3 of them are pretty pathetic. Cassandra, without a doubt, you are effing chat. Oh, go away, Cassandra. D-level. Can we D-level? Please, get rid of her. I'm waiting for them to be able to do res in the what's it? I always remember in the Trading Hall. That's it. Trading Hall. I'm just waiting for them to throw the rares in. So not rares, the epics, so we could get rid of her. Nobody would buy her. I'll pay you to take her off my hands. Oh man. All right. Next on the cards is Moshi. I hope it's Moshi. Oh my god. Okay. So now then, Moshi. Now Moshi, I have much love for him because he is actually probably one of the higher levels that I have in the Epic group, mainly because of the events we've been doing, like the summer event, which you get a lot with the search. So, by the way, guys, don't forget, collect those scrolls, collect them ready. Moshi comes up quite a bit in Wheels. He's a good byproduct of a good legendary, to be fair. Now, Moshi has two abilities. One of them, which is quite cool, is main effect, which is a meteor shower. Very cool attack. Moshi performs the Miracle of the Shooting Stars, dealing massive amounts of damage to targeted enemies. Number of units affected. Now this is probably, like, compared to the rest of the enemies, which does lasting damage and things like that, this is how many units will get affected by this meteor shower. This is massive. If he's at top level, he will hit 46 units with that meteor shower. The cooldown is 15 seconds. I've seen sometimes in fights that Moshi can survive 2 rounds, so he can launch the meteor shower twice, but it all depends on the troops that you have around with him. But 2 meteor showers and you're hitting those damages to 46 units. That's fucking cool. The damage he does, so if he's at max level, 3,000 damage. So 3,000 damage to 46 units. I'll just let that sink in. 3,000 damage times 46 troops. That's big numbers across the board. Now, Moshi, very handy within Hero Trial. I would even say that he's a good unit if you've got him leveled up a few levels early on in the game and you manage to get him as an epic. He's not a bad unit. For me, I think Moshi, with the benefit that he has in, like, Hero Trial, the upgraded damage that he has, and the number of units he can affect, I say he's in and around the B's and the C's at the moment. Now, his passive skill, which is Devotion Aura, Moshi spreads his strong will, greatly increasing friendly troops' health and defense. Now, this is where I feel he does push that little bit higher. His health increase can go up to a maximum of 25%. Now, that's a quarter. That's a decent amount to increase health. And then defense increase is 20%. That's a decent amount as well. I would actually put Moshi in B grade. I think he's a very formidable epic hero. He is within the sacred section, and as you know, there's a lot of good sacred troops that you want to get in. He is a good hero to try and get up to the high level 15 plus, and he will benefit you getting those level 10 troops under sacred banner. So Moshi, B. Well done, you know. Next one. Now, as you can see, we've had 3 darks so far. We've had Ains, Cassandra, and now we have Kelvins. Now, Kelvins I've got a soft spot for because I started off with Kelvins, and I got him up to probably like level 4 or 5 really quite quickly. I kept getting him from the chests early on, and yeah, I don't know how lucky I got. It was crazy. Now, Kelvins, he does have quite a lot. He's quite a defensive hero. He's got quite a bit of health. He does okay damage. Now, he's got an active skill which Kelvin casts energy shields, which protect some friendly troops. The shields absorb several hits before being destroyed, and then burst and deal damage to nearby enemies. Okay, now that's quite a cool feature. Number of units affected. So Sim, again, like Moshi, has got that affects units quantity. This one's a bit less. This one's only 32 units. Now, 32 units being affected, and these are your units, obviously. Now, if you can get shields around like your front-facing melee, then ultimately you've got, like, just think of it as an undead soldier. He's got 2 lives. Can you imagine he's got armor around him as well that keeps him alive even longer? It's all about things like that. Now, he also does have a resistance duration, which maxes out at 6. And then his damage is 450. So this spreads out to all those units, those 32 troops that you have, that when it hits through the shield and destroys, it does 450 damage to the enemy. So 450 times 32 units that have been affected. It's a considerable amount. Now, he is a defensive hero across the board, I'd say. And some formations really do benefit from from that defensiveness, rather than a very aggressive route. So if you think of things like heroes like brawlers, pilgrims, and things like that, the ones that are up there with the defensiveness, but you want to protect like your other melee units or even your archers, having those units there. Now, rapid cooling is his other ability, which is a passive skill. The cold breath of Kelvin can increase the movement speed and attack speed of all friendly troops and decrease the enemy's attack speed. Now this, combined with what we just discussed, is very, very beneficial to this hero and the formation you have with them. Attack speed is maxed at 15%. Movement speed, the biggest we've seen, 75% movement speed. So if you've got Kelvin, you could be running fast. You could be the Usain Bolt of Art of War. Can you imagine a stone golem speeding across the screen, all because of Kelvin? And then we've got the attack speed reduction. Now this goes purely onto the enemy, which is a 15% attack speed reduction, which isn't massive, but every little helps. Now for me, Kelvin, he's a very good hero starting off, I'd say. He got me through several thousand level ups, without a doubt. Without a doubt, put him, he is middle of the ground. If you're not super keen on the defensiveness, he is a very good C grade. He's in that middle. That's where I put Kelvin's for this epic route. Now, next one. It's me. It's me. It's Chris. Now, it's our second sacred. So Chris is sacred. He is the most festive Santa giant I've ever seen in my life. I never thought a game would actually introduce seasonal themed heroes and keep them going. It's the same as the seasonal themed troops like pumpkin guards, pumpkin, Halloween. I'm just waiting for I don't know, the Easter Bunny. When they're gonna add the Easter Bunny? Come on. Let's upvote it. Easter Bunny for the next event. The hero. What a glorious hero he would be. He would crap out. No, let's not go down that route. Okay, so we've got Chris. He is a giant. He is, as you presume, he has a lot of health. He has a lot of damage too. He's literally bonking you with a Christmas tree. Now, he has got an active skill where he uses the power of the earth to repel and deal damage to enemies at the front. So a frontal attack. Damage goes up to a massive 9,000. Now, if we remember what we discussed in the previous video about the res and what they did, max damage of about 4,000, Chris can do up to 9,000 damage on this, a one-off damage of boof. There we go. But it is a frontal attack, so any units coming behind you, he ain't gonna be doing it until he turns around. Now the next one, which is a passive skill, he does gifts for everyone. The warmth of Chris's gifts will boost the healing effects of all troops. Now, the healing increase goes up to a maximum of 50%. Now, once he gets up to high level, realistically, 50%, the jump from one level to the final level is 26% jump. From 24% to 50% is huge jump. Chris, he can be very good within within the hero trial, just like life is. So Chris himself, I think he's quite a tanky sacred unit, but I don't think he's quite as good as if you're comparing them to some of the heroes we've currently got in C's and B's at the moment. So Chris, I think I'm putting you in D, but high D. He's a high D, he's not a low D. He ain't going towards Cassandra right now. Don't you worry. Now then, next one on the list, which was my personal favourite, and if anybody sees me in game or sees me in the clan, etc., this is my avatar. That's the picture I got. Even though I use another hero, I love archers. I love bowmen, I love rangers, I love elves. It's the go-to style of attack that I go in all games. Robin Hood. What can I say about Robin Hood? He is the first human we've come across so far. Robin Hood is literally probably my highest epic at the moment, because I've got so many from the flips. Now, he's got an okay amount of health. He is, as you know, a ranger. He's a support, so he does sit in the back most of the time. He does have two abilities. Arrow of Wind, which Robin Hood charges his bow with a single powerful shot, which deals damage all along its path. Now, you can imagine if he shoots straight ahead and there's enemies all in a row, they're going to take a huge amount of damage. Now, this is spread through each unit. The max he can do is 4,500, but that goes to every unit it's passing through, and it only has a cooldown of 10 seconds, which is actually quite low compared to quite a lot of them, which are at 15. His secondary ability, which is called Sharp Style, which is Robin Hood and his troops get a higher chance of evading enemy attacks. Now, this is a non-stat based one. It doesn't tell you, it just says higher chance, doesn't give you the chance details, so it's in the background. Evading is one of those big things at the moment, because they've introduced a new troop into the game called an Angel. Evading is really something that's being tested at the moment, especially in arena and formations. It's something to really keep your eye on. Now, Robin Hood does apply this evade option. Now, for me, he was fun for a little bit, but he really does lackluster once units start focusing on him or do get close to him. He does not survive long enough to basically get that to get that maybe third shot off. He could probably get 2 off during a round. He is handy within Hero Trial. I do find him quite useful in that area until you start getting your higher level legendaries out. So at the moment, I would probably put him in here, and they're kind of equal at the moment, so I think he is quite happily sitting there next to Chris. So that is Robin Hood. Now then, next one, we have got Miller, Wolfie boy. There we go. Miller. Now, Miller is the first wild that we have. And there's a lot of good units within the wild area, especially if you're looking at Goblin Techs. You're looking at the Stone Golem. You're going to need a wild character. Now, Miller, you could probably level him up quite easily. He does come in as a secondary option on many wheels. He does also have only 2 attack styles. One of the things he does, which is very good, Miller is only an epic, but he can compete against some of the legendaries out there. Miller himself can take on Ali and stop her activating her epic attack. Literally her attack that basically decimates any army. Now, Miller goes straight for the jugular and goes for her. Now, this alone puts him already up in B tier for me, because to be able to for a epic to compete against a legendary, that's without a doubt a push up. Now, Miller doesn't have as much health as some of the other guys, but he's got this skill called Infinite Duress, which Miller raids to an enemy. I guess rushes rather than raids. Deals much damage and suppresses, which obviously stuns them, the target for a few seconds. This skill prefers to target enemy heroes. Okay, this is the only unit that does this, where it literally just goes for the hero. Now that versus someone like Ali, who's trying to cast off her spells, is without a doubt your best counter to have a Miller in your group. Now, he does an attack reduction of up to 20%, a defense reduction of up to 20%. He does damage of 5,000, but does have that cooldown of 15, so it's unlikely if he can't survive, if troops are swarming around him once he's gone for the hero, he may not survive to do a second chance. But if he gets off to Ali as soon as possible, that can really make a difference. Now, he's got a passive skill called Eternal Hunger. Miller can steal life from enemies when attacking, and his basic attack can sometimes cause ranged damage. So, his damage, 2,250, which is on top of that first one that he did, which is the 5,000. So, basically nearly just over 7,000. His life steal at max level is only 19%. Now, if that was a considerable amount for, especially being an epic, you would see a lot more people probably use Miller. If he had that, maybe 40 to 50% life steal, kind of like how Dracula might be, sucking the life out of people, Miller would probably be up there a bit more. Now, for me, I think Miller sitting in the B. I will probably give Miller the edge over Moshi. And he's kind of because it's only really one person, legendary wise, that you would go for, like Ali, maybe even Xion, maybe even the newer ones, like Freya. Miller, I think Miller is up there. Yeah, Miller, going for the hero makes a big difference, because he really puts a player on edge when it comes to considering attacking a Miller defense, maybe, especially if you're someone like Ali, which is one of the most used legendary hero, which we will come to in another video. Go check that out. Now, next one. Let's get him in. There he is. Now, Genichiro, or Genichiro, Cheerios, I don't know. Now, I don't know a great deal about this hero, to be honest. This hero is elusive to get, quite hard, quite tricky to get. He doesn't often come as a secondary hero. He doesn't roll out of chests so easily. He's quite a hard one to get hold of. So on that basis alone, I'm already putting him down into D. I'll probably put him up to D, high D at the moment to start with, and this is just because of obtainability. Which is a big factor for all these heroes when you're going through the game. Now, I've literally got him level 1. That's how often I get him. I've got one card on him, and I've been playing for 9 months. That's how often I get him. Now, obviously, if you're a paid player, you may get him a lot more, because you'll probably get him in the arena, but he's a lot harder to get hold of. Now, his first ability, which is Why is his name changed? What? His name's changed in this one. Genichirio, with a U at the end. Slashes through enemies in a specific area, dealing lots of damage and slowing the attack speed of enemies. So while he's attacking them, he could do an attack speed of up to a maximum of 25%. So this is like high-end. High-end damage, 4,000. Now, let me give you... Obviously, everybody, you guys have watched the Rare video. Of course you have. If you haven't... go check that out. At max level, he does 4,000 damage, which is disappointing considering he's classed as an epic, where you got rares that are doing 4,000 at max, and they're not as good. So, he does have a passive skill, which he rushes forward in an attack and can both deal area damage and cause enemy bleeding. Now, this is an effect that's quite cool. He can do a damage of 1,200, and then he does a burning damage of up to 480, which has a lasting damage count of 5 and damage intervals of every 1 second. So considering all that, he's a dark hero as well. You're unlikely to get this guy to 15 before you'd get Ains or Kelvin or even Cassandra, but do not do Cassandra. Honestly, he's a bit of a disappointment for me. From what I've seen of him, and it's very little I've seen him, I do not see him a lot in Arena. I don't even see him in Hero Trial. And when I do come across him, I overwhelm him very quickly with my army and my hero that I use, which is Sion. Can never say the name. Now, honestly, I think he'd probably sit in the D, and because of his rarity, I'm even putting him low D, because his rarity, his damage only being able to a max of 4,000. These are big negatives. Big negatives for me. Okay, so the next one, we've got the Beardy Pirate, which you end up seeing quite a bit. The glorious Beardy Pirate of Blackbeard Edward. He is a drunk, but we love him. We love the Piratey Boy. Now, Piratey Boy, he's got something called Queen Anne's Revenge. Blackbeard forces his men to drink spirits, and the alcohol increases the troops' attack and movement speed for a short period. Now, number of heroes affected, 35. So 35 of your units, and this is obviously max level. His attack speed is increased at a max of 35%, and his movement speed is 35%, and then a cooldown of 15. Now this is a nice boost for your troops. Whether you'd get this off twice in a round is very unlikely. You'll probably do it once, and then your units will get that 35% boost. 35 of them would get that. It's just 35 across the board. Then he has got a passive skill called Intimidation. Blackbeard's threatening presence terrifies his enemies, lowering their attack damage and attack speed stats. Now, this, if it was considerably higher, it would be very preferential. It basically attack reduction is 25%, and then attack speed reduction 25%. So it's only a quarter. It's going to affect an enemy. I think if it was about half, it would probably be a different story. Edward, handy early on, until you start getting units maybe like you'd get a Miller or an Ains, or even the Kelvins. Edward, I kind of want to say that you're in with Chris and Robin Hood, but where you would sit, like you don't have crazy damage. I'm probably gonna put you behind Robin Hood. Now we got 2 left. Now the next one. Whoop. And that moved a little bit. Whoop. Now then, we have got Bull Demon King, Minotaur. So much health this guy has. He is a bit of a tanky boy, just like Chris, and he has 2 abilities. One, which is his headbutt. Physical damage, blasts through the enemy in a straight line, stunning them and dealing a lot of damage. Now the damage he does is 4,500, so a little bit more, and this is max level, a little bit more than like some of the rare guys and some of the other epics. He does lasting damage of count of 6, and damage intervals is 0.2 seconds. Not 0.2, it's not even a second, it's not 0.2, that is super fast. His cooldown maxes out at 11, so every 11 seconds, which is not so bad compared to like the 15s. We're looking at that rush and stunning is quite handy because some formations really do benefit from stunning at that initial. So if you have a lot of troops that can stun and freeze and things like that, you can hold the enemy in place for a while. Now, next one is a passive skill, increases the defense of all your troops, and this goes all the way up to 30%. I think if this was pushed a bit higher, maybe 40, maybe 50 people would start using it a bit more, because the defense boost really can make a difference in a battle, especially if you're stunning and keeping your defense up. Bull Minotaur King really don't see him a lot in things like Arena or Hero Trials and other. I wouldn't see him there. I've seen him sometimes in Hero Trials, ever so slightly sometimes, but once he does his stun rush, he more or less rushes straight in and troops overwhelm him. So for me, this guy's just ahead of Genicuro, Chirio, just ahead. Now then, next one, we have, last but by no means least, we have Alum. His name is Alum. Now, Alum, he is a magical boy, and he has got some spells. Now, his active spell is called Elemental Storm, magic damage. He unleashes the power of the elements, releasing the element Storm onto the battlefield. The storm leaves a trail of fire, burning those who remain in its wake. Now, that is quite handy. Area effect damage. Now, this goes up to 5,000 damage. Nice. Lasting damage maxes out at 500. Lasting damage count 5, and then damage intervals every 1 second. The cooldown maxes out at 15. It's really bad, like early on. It's at 20. So, like, based on that information there, of that attack style, I would say that I'd put Alum in B to start with. I'm already feeling that Miller should be up in A, and also Ains A, Moshi B, Alum B. Alum B, yes. Now, Alum has a passive skill. Alum's mastery over the elements fortifies his troops, boosting their health, attack, and defense stats. Now, this maxes out at 15% each. So, health, attack, and defense increased 15%. I don't think that's enough. Realistically, you're looking minimum more 30 to 40%, I'd say, and then you'd see maybe that hero being used a little bit more in these certain circumstances. But with both of those skills, I think without a doubt he is a B. Not as good as Moshi because of the meteor shower that he has, which is really, really quite cool. But overall, this is the epic layout for my hero tier list. We've got Cassandra in F. I even feel actually that I don't even want to put him D. He's so hard to get. Cassandra is the worst. Just mainly because of one reason. He's got to go down to F. Now, these four are Ds. C, without a doubt, Kelvin's. And then we got Moshi and Alum. I'd say it's B. And then we got Ains and Miller in the A's. I don't even think any of these guys deserve to be put into S tier. Miller's probably the only one that might get close. Both of these guys could get close to S, but honestly don't feel that they have enough to take them to that level. Maybe a few extra percentages might, I'd say, push them up into those areas. But overall, That's where I would place the heroes. I'm feeling Alam might push down because of his actual damage, like his magic damage outside of his actual skill being pushed off. Once his skill's done, he's pretty weak, so I'm probably going to drop him down into C, actually, because I think Moshi benefits way more from his abilities, and then his normal attacks are quite powerful compared to Alam. Moshi, I believe, he's level 10, he does 650, and then I've got Alam at level 6 doing 450, so 250 200 between them. Yeah, I think Moshi's got the edge on him particular. So that is our epic hero tier list. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any suggestions, if you have any comments on where the positions are of these heroes, please drop them down below. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you do check out the rare video and the legendary video as well. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Alright guys, where those are the epic guys. Thank you guys so much for sticking through that. Thank you everybody. No worries, totally understand people have had to step out and in and out and in and out. Shake it all about, don't worry guys. I really do appreciate you guys popping in, having a quick chat and listening in where you can. I really do appreciate it. Let's say, don't forget to like the video and show your support. Thank you Buster, much appreciated. Glad to see the Reddit community here showing support. Awesome, thank you Buster. Yes, and Cyram as well. Hello. And that's Platypus. Yes, hello, how you doing? Hope you're doing great. To be fair, I do actually see him a bit, not really competitive, but kind of situationally possible. Yes, that was Miller, from what I remember. Miller is a very situational in the arena, but you could really benefit from that. We could chill there to stop dropping in and out. No worries. Alright, so now this is going to be the biggest section. Are you on Twitch too? I used to be. I do have my Twitch channel there, but I don't go there anymore. I much prefer sticking, because I started on YouTube back in 2017 on what is this channel, but that's why it says Steel Elves, not like Dark Elves Gaming. It says Steel Elves as like in the link because it's the old style. I started a channel back then. I then stupidly deleted all my videos because I thought I'll never go back to YouTube now that I've gone over to Twitch. I went over to Twitch in 2018 and I stopped doing stuff on YouTube, and then after doing 4 years of Twitch, I came back to YouTube mainly because of games like Diablo. I really started making like a series on YouTube and putting videos up on there, and I then deleted all my content that wasn't related to like Diablo sort of stuff because I really rebranded to Diablo, and then I just kind of stopped enjoying creating the content from it because it was a lot of editing to get down to make it like fun and entertaining. I did some guide videos and things like that which I enjoyed, which actually has given me a bit of experience into coming into this game, which I'm actually enjoying creating like the guides and the advice and just like talking through like step-by-step stuff and showing like stats and things like that. So I'm glad I did that, but I should have kept all my videos previously because those would have counted towards the channel, but now they were deleted. I've lost all those views and hours and stuff, so kind of starting from fresh really. And then I literally picked up, I put a lot of my Twitch clips onto the channel, which they are still there. So they're all on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. Check them out, they're fun. Some of them are literally like 7 seconds long. They are clips from my streaming days on Twitch. Some of them are very funny because I had a very interactive Twitch channel basically I had lots of things linked to my audios. I had lots of things linked to my microphone, so people could basically manipulate my stream. And yeah, people had a lot of fun with that. The game is just so niche. Yes, the game is very niche. And I know, like, say, people who do cover this game kind of go off it really quickly, but honestly, like, I love just sharing knowledge and going through this game and enjoying it. And I know, like, for the size channel I'm getting, like, the views and stuff like that are very minimal, but honestly better than what I was getting from things like Diablo. Like Diablo, much bigger game. I know Blizzard's gone through a lot of stuff, but I was still only getting very few views on that front, where with this game, I think it's more me. I love strategy games, and this game has so much strategy in it, and I love the formations. The art style's funny, so yeah, it's really good. I think you'll struggle for views with how few people play. Yeah, no, that is a thing. To be honest, me getting, like, I'm starting to get a few hundred views now, which is nice. Where even on some of my old videos, you'll see that it's only a couple of views. That's legitimately it, a couple of views. So for a game that is niche, it's doing 100 times better than some other things, which people aren't going to watch my stuff. They're going to watch someone who is on a much bigger channel for those sort of things. Yeah, exactly. It is. As long as it's fun, I'm enjoying it. We gotta get Elves to be as big as Facecast was. Well, this is it, innit? This is it. Big fish in a small pond. Oh man. Okay, so let's tidy this up and let's get all these guys down here. I don't know why I do it. I'll probably do it like that. But yeah, I'm glad you guys agree that Cassandra should be F. She needs to be removed from our lives. But honestly, like, if the developers do keep doing this game, because I think that's the thing at the moment, is many, especially mobile phone games, people just move on to the next fad. I hope the developer sticks with the game and doesn't just leave it. Because I know I did a video probably a few months ago now, which you guys, if you haven't watched it all the way through, which is basically troops that I would like to see in future. I would recommend checking that out, because I think they're missing a gap within the troop market already. There's quite a few ideas that I think would really get people back into it. Shameless didn't. Hey, no problem. People have got their own things to do, and this is why I like doing this stream, because anybody that comes by can have a little chat. We can talk about things in between me making the videos, which is what I'm really doing as well within this stream. Is I'm making the videos that will follow up, which I know people will digest a lot better. We've been going an hour and 20 minutes now. I know the rare video probably took about 20 odd minutes, and then the epic one's probably been about 40-50 minutes. Now that's much better to watch and digest than watching a 3-hour stream, where I'm going to leave the stream up for anybody that does want to watch the entire thing and see what all the in-between things are like this, but I will cut out the content so it's more digestible for people, just like the troop one. I did the stream and then digested it. Because I'm working honestly. No problem, Judy. Hey, look, I appreciate you chatting and getting involved, and any comments you have I can at least read after, or it prompts me to at least talk a little bit about something that I might have missed. So if you feel like you want to have a quick chat in there about something, I can definitely pick it up and try and address it. Now, Legendary is going to be big. Legendary is big. So what we got? We got 5. We've got 10. We've got 13. Jesus. We got 12. 25. Fucking hell. There's 25 legendary heroes. Fucking hell. Wow. 25. That's insane. There's so many legendary heroes. Wow. 25 heroes. Okay, well, this is where things are going to go down. This is where people are going to rip me to shreds of, how dare you put my hero there? Don't worry. Ali, F. Sion, F. Celine, F. Davidson, fucking, Z. Come on, let's get all of the Art of War community raging. Let's go for it. Sounds right. Hey, they might do an overhaul and then literally everybody will be like, damn it! Dante's the best! Cassandra! The best arena fighter in the world! Ali's such a troll. Yeah, she is a troll, but we all know it. We all know why she's... But that's it. You just need a counter like Miller to jump in, and that stops her. It really does. 200k army power, level 17 Ali, irritating as hell. Yeah, it is. I know. It is. And people do it. People troll it. Alright, so let's get started on this one. And let's see. I'm just gonna have a quick second, have a drink. Hold on. All right. Okay. So let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the third and final part of the Heroes Tier List 2022. We are now on to what has been probably anticipated. It is the legendary part of the Heroes Tier List. We are going to go through all 25 of the heroes. Now, some of them I have got limited knowledge on because of their limited frequency within the game that I've seen them, and then how hard they are to get themselves. But I'm gonna have to go off on what information I've gathered from things like Reddit, things from the clan I'm in, and then also what you see on the stats pages for these units, and kind of like read between the lines of some of them. Okay, but we'll get to the bottom of it and we'll get this tier list going. So first of all, we have got Ali, the Nine-Tails, Fox-Tails lady, the one that everybody wants. Now, with legendaries, you have 4 abilities, and we're going obviously on the max basis. The first ability, Trial of Flames. Ali mobilizes all power of fire to form a powerful fire bomb. After accumulating power for 3 seconds, she throws the firebomb into the air, and then the fireball lands at top speed and hits the opponent, causing huge damage and stun them. At the same time, it will leave a burning flame on the ground and continue to damage the opponent's troops within the range for a certain period of time. If Ali is affected by a stun effect during the fire accumulation process, the fireball will fall to the ground right after she was stunned, and the damage and range will be reduced by half. So this is what I was talking about before. In the other video, go check it out. This is the epic heroes. There's a hero in there called Miller. Such a counter for Ali. Now, Ali is freaking beastly. Just by the sound of that attack, they're already in B. She does, at max level, it is going into the 18,000 mark. It is insane. Considering we've been talking, 4,000 and maybe 9,000 was one of the ones in the epic group. 18,000 Ali does. It is huge. The lasting damage, so this is the fire that drops afterwards, is up to 500. And then we got lasting damage, 10 damage every time at 0.5 seconds. So every second it's doing 20. It's huge damage. And the cooldown is at 14. So not ideal on that cooldown, but if she gets that attack off, you are decimated. Your army can get so easily decimated. That's already, with that statistics there, putting it up into the A group. We've got the second skill, which is a passive skill. Ali's normal attack and some skills can ignite the enemy, and the ignited enemy will take continuous damage in 8 seconds and greatly reduce its attack and defense. Attack reduction is a max of 50%, which is huge. Defense reduction to 54%. Burning damage up to 860 with that again 8 damage in intervals of 1 second. It's just huge. That puts her top level A already. Then she has 2 other abilities once you get her to max level. Power of the Nine Tails. Every time Ali culminates lost 10% of her life, she will stimulate the power of a tail to increase all her damage, at most stacking 9 times. At the same time, when Ali Cumlate lost 90% of her life, all enemies on the battlefield will be bewildered, so stunned, for 2 seconds, and the ignited enemies will detonate. Bewitched and detonate effects only trigger once per battle. Damage the enemy himself and the enemy units around her. The damage caused by the detonation will not cause the enemy to be ignited. After the ignited enemy is detonated, the ignition effect on her will disappear. Now this is an attack increase of up to 12%, straight up damage of 3,300, skill damage increased to 12%. This is huge. So the more health she loses, the more dangerous she gets. This already puts her into low S tier. And then the last one, her normal attack. This is racial synergy for the wild. So this increases all wild-based troops. Normal attack increase by 4%. Skill attack increase by 4%. Ali is an S tier hero. It's harsh as hell the way she fights, and only really having one hero counter out there in the form of an epic hero. Ali really does pose a big threat to majority of formations and majority of other heroes. Now, I have come across fights with myself where I am Sion, which we will come to shortly, that I've managed to overcome Ali, but that is purely because of my troop formation or the positioning of things, and my troops actually getting to her in a decent time before that big attack comes off. You've got to have fast units, so things like undead soldiers getting out there, spreading out, and really getting their attacks out there. Ali, you're up there. Well done. Next one, we have Apollo. Now, Apollo, I believe, in the past, prior to 2022, Apollo, back in the early days, was actually a very good hero. And he does pose potentially a comeback. He has got a lot of cool abilities. He is a ranger. He does do magic damage. Apollo summons a solar rain in target area, dealing with multiple damages to the enemy. Now, this is a lasting damage of 2,400 at the max. Now, lasting damage isn't ideal. This would probably be better if it was a one big off, like Ali does. Maybe if he had something like that, that would put him up a lot higher. He's got a passive skill. The Glory of Apollo can greatly strengthen the attack of all units, up to 39%. That's quite decent. That is quite decent. He does have a sun imprint, which is all damage done by Apollo will give the enemy a layer of sun imprint. The number of layers of sun imprint can be superimposed. So this is apparently after the target receives damage from Apollo for the first time, the number of layers of sun imprint is 0. The sun imprint can stack up to 10 layers. Every time the enemy receives damage from Apollo, it will receive additional layers of its own sun imprint, X damage of damage. Sun imprint damage does not stack the number of layers of sun imprint and does not trigger additional damage. So it does the 10 imprints, and then that damage is just placed onto the, potentially like up to 10 times. The damage noted at max is 550. So what you're looking at, if you've got the 10 layers and 550, it is lasting damage. What you're looking at, if he survives long enough, 5,500 maybe at the best range. And then his last skill, very similar, it's the racial synergy. This is for obviously sacred, so this is units like paladins and inquisitors and frost archers, things like that. 4%, just like Ali does. Now Apollo, you had so much potential. It's all about the formation with this hero, which that's what lets a hero down, is if you've got to have all the amazing troops to start with to then allow your hero to be good. Your hero should already be lifting your troops up. I honestly think Apollo is falling down into the D tier in this case, unfortunately. He's got so much potential. Now, here's the first of the ones that I've not really seen, and I've been playing 9 months and I've not really seen her because she's so hard to get. Very, I guess, pay to win on this one. I'm already bringing her down because she is so hard to get hold of. Now, her abilities. Now, at level 1, like same again. I've managed to unlock her once. Sorry. So I am level 1 with her. She's got 12,000 health at level 1. That says something. Now, War Spear is a weapon which is a magic damage. Athena hurls her spear, which stuns the enemy and deals some initial damage. Then a formation of spears forms to stun and deal secondary damage to the enemy. When she recalls the spear, it creates a shockwave that deals damage for the 3rd time. Now, that is a cool feature. That is, the initial damage can be a max of 7,200. The secondary is 3,006. And if it gets to the 3rd one, 9,000. Okay, so you're looking at what? A total of 9, 12... basically 20, literally 20,000 damage if she does that one ability, and she does it across that time period, which is a cooldown of 16 seconds as well, till she can do it again. Can she survive that long? All depends on your troops, really, because she's not strong enough to hold off too many hits, I'd say. Now, I honestly think that brings her up to C already. D brought it down because of the chances of getting her is so hard, but then her abilities, that ability there really does make a difference. Let's have a look. Next one, passive. Every 2 basic attacks, Athena releases olive branches to heal friendly troops in range, while also binding the enemy for 3 seconds. Now that's quite cool. Heal your friends and bind your enemies. Now, the heal recovery is only 980, and this is max. This is her at highest level. Lasting damage of 6 in intervals of 0.5. That overall, yeah, it's got great potential, but it's relying heavily on being able to survive. So same again, I think she's sitting in C at the moment. Aegis of Athena. This is Athena receives a shield immunity to disabling abilities for several seconds after activating War Spear. So when she does that massive damage, when the shield ends or is broken, it explodes, dealing damage to nearby enemies. This shield now, after a War Spear doing 20,000, is crazy. The shield can explode for 8,000. And then the shield power is 8,000 as well. And that can happen. The duration is 10 seconds as well. So another cool ability. And then we've got the racial synergy for the Sacreds. Just like the rest of the heroes, 4%. Nothing extra on that one. So I would put Athena, C grade. C grade. She's got some nice little things there. I haven't experienced her a great deal, so maybe C grade is too high for her. But because of the knowledge of it and the limited access you get to this hero and seeing people use this hero, it's very, very hard. Next one. Now, this one has come out quite recently. It's Chiron, or Charon, because I believe he's on the basis of the Greek ferryman Chiron. So, yes. For me, from what I've experienced, people are using this hero. People are using it in Hero Trial. I've seen people using it in Arena. I've seen people, actually benefit and probably get this hero up to... God, I think I've seen some people level 8s and level 9s already. Now, we all got to test this hero out at level 17 with your clanmates and stuff. We tried some of this, and honestly, he's such a fail. He really is. At the moment, straight down to D. Straight down to D. Now, his abilities. Let's look at them. He's only level 1 with us, and he's got 12k health. He's not a big attacker, but he does create something called Writhes. Now, Chiron summons a large ship from the underworld, moving forward for a certain period of time, causing lasting damage and knockback, while summoning Writhes. Now, when you get this guy to max, those Writhes have a health of 59,500. Now, to give you a comparison, let's grab a troop of a Stone Golem. Now, a Stone Golem, once you get a Stone Golem to level 10, a Stone Golem level 10 has 78,750. A Stone Golem level 9 has got 63,000. A Stone Golem level 8 has got 36,000. So, if you technically get Chiron to the max level, those rides are going to have huge amounts of health, but it's all about him releasing them. Now, their attack is pretty pathetic, I'd say. At max level, their damage is 840. That's not huge, but it's not small either, so it's in the middle, I'd say. They do so lasting damage, I believe it says here number of units effective 1, so it only affects 1 unit. And the lasting damage is 2,340. So that's at max level, and that does 6 lasting damage counts 6 damage intervals every 1 second. Max cooldown is on 10 seconds at max level. Honestly, potential, but really not there. Passive skill, the Field of Dead. I don't think I'd see this often. Every 19 seconds, Chiron releases the breath from the underworld to bring a shield to the friendly units. The shield power is equivalent to multiplying the shield factor of Chiron by the defense value of the friendly unit. Shields of heroes only work for 25%. Shield factor 25 is the max. Duration 10 seconds, and the cooldown, the best you can get on the cooldown is 15 seconds, which in a fight, that's probably going to happen maybe once to twice. It's crazy. Rider Army. After the Phantom Vessel shatters, Chiron releases the Rise in the ship to attack the enemy. The Rise HP, 59,500, nearly 60k. Rise attack, maxing out at 840. Survival time, 10 seconds. That's really bad. Number of units affected is 5. Same again, it's not really doing it. And then you got the dark. Damage received decreases for dark, and that's at 4%. Chiron has so much potential, but I think has been executed very badly. He, from experience and just fighting around him quite a bit and seeing him quite a bit, I honestly think for a dark hero, he could be so much better. He is an F tier for me. He really does not perform the way he should, especially by what stats this is telling us. He should be doing so much better than he actually is. So unfortunately, I am putting him into the F section. Next on the list, we have got the lovely Chione or Chione. So Chione is, I'd say, up there with majority of the heroes. She's got a freeze effect. Now she does a freezing field, summons a blizzard to the target area that lasts for several seconds. Enemy troops in this range will lose blood and be frozen. The skill ignores any damage reduction. She is good. Max damage she does 2,650, you fool. Lasting damage of 600, which is nice. Damage intervals is every second. Lasting count is 3. Cooldown, best you're going to get is 13. Now, I would say with that ability, I already put her in a B because the freezing effect makes a big bit there. But yes. Now, a passive skill is called Frost. Kion will reduce enemy attack speed and movement speed. Now, this makes a big difference because obviously you want to slow down your enemies as best you can. 36.5% for both of those. So, yeah. Already a good one. I'm already going to put her into A tier. We've then got Frost Prison. Every several attacks, Kion will freeze enemies. Friendly troops will cause multiple damage to frozen enemies. Now, you freeze lots of enemies. Damage increase is 220% at max. That is without a doubt. You're freezing, keeping people going. The enemies are just, your troops are just going to rush in and just wipe out those frozen enemies. Makes a huge difference. And if you've got things like frost archers as well, you're going to be freezing everything. And then you got the synergies, which is attack speed. Speed and attack speed is increased by 4%. So overall, I honestly I don't think she's S tier. I believe she's definitely in the top A's. She has got a lot of ability and a lot of keeping an army at bay, and that makes a big difference. So without a doubt, we're putting her in at A with those benefits. Now then, our next one. Oh, the glory that is Davidson. Now, Davidson, he is on the wheel at the moment. Now, Davidson, and I will be having a Davidson video coming out very soon. It might already be out, so go check it out. Where I show you how many shards I managed to get on my wheel for those lovely 200 spins. Now, Davidson, he is, at the moment, he is probably one of the most desirable heroes. Out of all 25 legendary heroes, he is without a doubt in the top 5. Automatically, with his one attack that he's got, which is the dragon swoops to the ground, dealing massive damage and stunning the enemies, that already takes you into A tier, because being able to do an area of effect stun and knocking enemies back and pushing them away and keeping them away, doing a damage of up to 8,500 with a cooldown. If you get it to max level, the cooldown only 9 seconds and you're just jumping around bashing. Huge amounts. Really good. Now, this is where people want this guy. His passive skill increases the health and attack of friendly units. A percentage of damage from basic attacks is reflected when an ally is hit. Health increase up to 32%, attack increase up to 25%, and damage reflection up to 37%. It's huge. Automatically S tier. Now, the question is Davidson better than Ali? That's hard. Let's have a look at the other two abilities he's got. Now he's got Dragon Rage, which after Davidson's health drops to 50% for the first time, he becomes enraged and releases his active skill. Does not affect the cooldown of active skills. In this case, Davidson's attributes improve and his normal attack becomes Spray Fire. At this time, the damage of Spray Fire is the value of David's normal attack and no other Spray Fire effects will be launched at that point. So his attack can increase by 52%. Immune to injury 70%, and trigger HP percentage at 60%. It's freaking huge. The main effect here is the instances you're gonna get where Ali needs to launch her ability for that to be, where Davison, in my opinion, is an overall better hero across the board. Now, one huge important thing with Davison is switch auto attack off. You do not want him using his special ability all the time. You want to do it manually. You do not want it auto. You want to keep him alive as long as possible so that passive ability outweighs the other. Okay? Don't want to be activating the... Even though it's handy with the stunning, much prefer his passive. Alright? And then his racial synergy is HP for increases for all humans, which majority of troops are likely to be human troops. So 4% HP increase for all your human troops. So if you're using Davison, have lots of human troops because you at least benefit from that boost. But you also want heroes that are tanks. So you want troops that are tanks. You want things like stone golems, maybe cactuses, pumpkins, things like that are literally going to keep the enemy busy while Davison just absolutely jumps around the map. So yeah, S tier for Davison, and he's got a freaking dragon. S tier just for the dragon. Oh, here's my boy, Dracula. Now, Dracula, without a doubt, is the single best hero in Infinity War at low level. It's insane. Like, he outweighs like an Ali like 15, a Sion like 13 or 14. Like, in Infinity War, you will do insane damage if you have Dracula. Make sure you don't have auto special on. Just have his abilities to life steal. He is Dracula after all. Now, without a doubt, he's going starting in B because he's got the ability to steal life. Devil's Invasion. Dracula summons bodyguard bats. The bats attack the enemy, reducing enemy troops' movement speed, dealing a lasting damage within the range. The effects of the bat attack will cause a life steal for Dracula. Now, this is going to keep him alive for as long as he can. It's honestly amazing. Now, number of units affected by this is up to 13 units, so enemies. Movement speed is reduced by 75%. It's insane. The damage they do is not too bad, 2,600, and that's just the bats attacking. Lasting damage 2,250. Lifesteal percentage is 20%. It's huge. The lasting damage count is 4, and then that's every 1 second, and then the cooldown can go down to 14% if you're max. I have currently got a level 4 Dracula. As you can see by all the videos on my channel, if you've checked them out, Infinity War, all those videos, I have managed to max out every session that I do, and I get all of the rewards, all of the chests open, and I'm usually either top of my group or I'm in the top 3, and that is purely on damage from Dracula being my hero, and then a lot of goblin techs. But Dracula alone in Infinity War is amazing. Now, outside of Infinity War, he's handy within Hero Trial. I don't find him very useful against the monsters like Cerberus and Manticore and Frost Dragon and things like that. Now, with Dracula in Arena, you do not see him a lot because there are so many heroes that basically will wipe him out very quickly, and there's a lot of troops that will go to him. He doesn't survive as long as you hope for. He's more of a long-term one in things like Infinity War. Infinity War can last up to 5 minutes, where an arena battle is probably under a minute in most cases. So Dracula doesn't really get into his stride, you know. So I think that's where it lets him down a bit. Dracula has a blood oath. Dracula signs a contract with all allied troops, granting them permanently increased attack damage. Also, damage dealt by allied troops will recover a proportional percentage of the unit's lost health. Attack increase can go up to 39%. Lifesteal goes up to 36%. And the damage interval is every 1 second. Now, that is why Infinity War is insane. Because you've got units that are doing huge damage, then getting a massive increase in damage, and then the lifesteal to keep them alive for longer. It's crazy. Now, okay, next ability he's got is Sanguine Fury. After the first death, Dracula becomes invulnerable, turning into a blood mist with high lasting damage to attack the enemies. When Dracula emerges from blood mist form, his health value includes the life stolen prior. So, lasting damage 2,750, lifesteal percentage 30%, and then he's got damage interval of 0.5 seconds. So it's double at 1 second. And then he does a synergy with the dark units. Normal attack and skill attack increased by 4% for all darks. Which, if you're looking at what a lot of people will have in their armies like undead soldiers, you're going to see that they are going to do huge amounts of damage and, well, last a long time. Dracula, without a doubt, he is high-end B. I wouldn't put him into A and S. S and A, you've got to be able to compete in Arena. I will put people in Bs if they've got a really strength in other parts of the game. And Dracula, without a doubt, you should have him even at low level. He is so good. Level 4 Dracula compared to a Sion level 14, you do so much more damage in Infinity War. So yeah, watch those videos, check them out, they're on the channel. So yeah, Dracula, you are B. Hell yeah. Next on the review, here we go. So we have now got Drake. Now Drake, he's pretty common. I would say he's quite common. You can get him from normal hero chests, which you unlock, especially if you're powering through your levels, because when you're leveling up from level 1 to 8,000, you will get a lot of chests. Now, when you're unlocking all those chests, he is on there most of the time, and you will get him unlocked. I'm currently got him at about level 5, and I've never really used him. But he does have certain instances where he is quite handy. Now, he is quite useful in fighting some of the monsters. So like we were saying before, the monsters are things like Cerberus, Manticore, Ice Dragon, Cyclops guy, yeah, that's it. He's quite handy. Now, for me, I don't think he's quite as good as Dracula, and putting him into B, I think he is legitimately a high C. But he's got quite cool features to take on those monsters. He has got the Golden Hind Salvo, physical damage. Drake launches his Golden Hind Salvo, which is his gun, at a target area, dealing massive damage and slowing the movement of enemies. Movement speed reduction, the highest we've ever seen. 80%. is huge. So if you're going up against something like the Frost Dragon, where ultimately all you need to do with that is slow him down, stop him, use pumpkin guards like galore. You want to basically stop him doing his attacks. You slow him down so much. This is the guy for the job. He does lasting damage of 3,000 in intervals of 5 damage, and doing it every 0.9 seconds, so just under a second. And the cooldown maxes out at 15, which 15 seems to be that sort of thing. Ugh, can you survive that long if someone goes for you completely? It's ultimately you might be able to get it off twice in most cases. Now, passive skill, Drake's Compass increases the attack and movement speed of all friendly troops. Now, that is very handy in general. 29% for the attack increase, and attack speed is 29%, and movement is up to 35%. So all around, quite good stats to get your troops going faster. He's got a Predator's Tide legendary skill, which is Drake summons the power of the Tide after a certain number of attacks, deals extra damage and reduce the defense of surrounding enemies. Now the defense reduction is 36% at its max level, and then the damage is 700. So just a straight up 700. Honestly, I think if that was much higher, you would probably see a little bit more action from this guy. I think that's a little bit lackluster, especially if you've got him at high level up to 15 and above. I think that's a bit disappointing, having only 700 as that damage. Then you've got, he is a human, so he's going to benefit your humans, speeds and attack. So his attack speed and movement is that standard 4% increase, and that's across the board. I honestly think he's sitting where he needs to sit. He's handy with the big beasts, the monstrosities, whatever you want to call them. He's handy at fighting them. He's useful in hero trials, but honestly in arena do not see much of him. And I would easily take out a high level one of these with probably a mid level, like Ali, a mid level, Sion, and etc. All right. Next, we have the newest hero in the game, Freya. Oh, the potential she has. Now, Freya. She, without a doubt, does the most damage, like, of all heroes. She is insane. Her damage is unmatched for just like a single unit doing damage. I honestly think Freya does come up into a B because she is very good within hero trial. She's got a lot of potential in arena if you can get the right troops to keep her going, because she's got an effect very similar to Davison, where basically it's like a massive knockback. She actually blows the entire field back. So if you can get a formation in place to benefit from that, keeping the distance sort of situation, and then keeping those things that try to get behind you, she is a top contender. I would bring her down because she does have she's very squishy. Her abilities, just to go through them now, I'm going to put her at high C at the moment. I don't think she's got that all around massive damage, and I've seen, like, I think on one hero trial she's only level 4 with me, and she was doing something like 400,000 damage, where my highest troop was doing like 90,000 in the time. She just outlasts. Now, she's got Gale Force, which is what I mentioned earlier. It's that she unleashes the power of nature to form a powerful wind field, knocking back enemy units along the way, and applying a lasting slowing effect to enemies in the wind. Movement speed can go reduced to 64% at high end. The cooldown can go down to 10 seconds. So just like Davidson, I honestly think she's got huge potential. If you can get her in the right formation, she will be a force to be reckoned with. So let's have a quick look here. Okay. Just quickly check this. Okay. Now, we do have then her passive skill, which Freya leads the power of nature to bless allies, increasing the attack speed of all your allies. Now, this goes up to 37%. I think this will benefit purely from boosting your enemy, your troops around the fields, getting their attack speed going faster. Then, two abilities that are high-end. Golden Arrows. When the active skill is released, Freya injects power into the arrow, greatly increasing her attack speed and attack. Now, can you imagine someone who's already doing crazy amount of damage having an attack increase of 50% and an attack speed increase of 65%? It's huge. Honestly, I do think she's got great potential, and she is without a doubt a low B. She's a low B at the moment until she can get that formation worked out. If we can work that formation out, she's got so much potential. Then she helps wilds, so things like stone golems and goblin techs, and a Freya goblin tech Infinity War. Could be interesting. 4% to normal attack increase and skill attack increase 4%. So standard. All right. So after Freya, we have got Harrison, the timekeeper. He is so weird. Now, I don't see Harrison often in Arena, so already comes down. Harrison, his abilities, he makes space around him stagnant with a temporal vacuum, causing high damage to the end. Now, the damage is 13,000 at top end, and the cooldown is 14, so no, not crazy, but the damage is pretty decent. Then we've got his passive skill. As a Time Walker, Harrison reduces the cooldown of active skills with each attack. So, cooldown reduction up to a max of 5 seconds cooldown. So if he attacks, he can then do his main active skill, which is that 13,000 damage one. So the more he attacks and the more he can get that cooldown, the better. Now, with that alone, I honestly think that pushes him up into the C grade. He's got a tea party time as a skill. Being a master of time, Clockman never fears death. This skill revives Harrison and some of his troops once per battle. Number of units effective, up to a maximum of 95 units can be revived. So, if you've got some good troop lineups, that little ability can really make the difference. And then he's a human based, so that'll increase the attack speed and movement speed of humans by 4%. Honestly, I think C grade is pretty much where he sits. No more sort of words needed for that. Now then, the next one we have got Horus, the glorious of Horus. The first, is that the first Egyptian we've had? So yeah, we got Horus. Horus looks very cool. He's sacred based magic style. He's got Gust of Wind. Horus uses his wings to create a gust of wind, damaging enemies and reducing ranged units' attacks. Now, that's very specific. If that was every unit, that would be great. But because it's specifically ranged units, if you're fighting an army that's got a lot of melee, then Horus's attack is useless. It does up to damage of 8,500 and a cooldown of 9, which cooldown of 9 really good. Damage okay, but specific to rangers. So for me, he's sitting probably top ND ahead of Apollo at the moment. Protected Wings. Passive skill. Horus protects friendly units using his wings, reducing damage from ranged attacks. Same again, very specific. Only attack reduction of 32%. So it's not even a massive amount. It's a very specific skill, but it's not a massive amount. I would have thought if it's so specific to a ranger base that you would have a much bigger protection against it, rather than what I would expect is 32% against all units, but unfortunately no. So next one is the Eye of Horus. Makes dark enemy units take extra damage and prevents them from reviving. Now, if you're up against an army full of dark units and undead soldiers that revive themselves, Horus is your boy. Stops them completely. Damage increased as well against dark units is 43%. Now, dark heroes are, at the moment, Chiron, Dracula, and the ones we've got ahead of us are Mephisto and then Azrael. Azrael we don't really see because he's literally high-end game hero. Now, I would say that because you're really not going to come across many of the dark heroes, that Horus isn't really going to be benefiting from it. It's more about the troops that you're going to come across. So at the moment, I think he is right where he should be. He's in the D, high D. He does damage received decreased for sacred units by 4%, which is the standard synergy that the percentage-wise that they give. So Horus, you're sitting neatly at high D. Next, we have Jin. Now, Jin, as we said in the rare video, which you should go check out, the rare video had Hohenheim, who is your gold maker. Now, Jin is by far better. He makes lots of money. Now, he has a money maker. So without a doubt, he goes straight up to B, because the money making machine is there. It's called a passive skill called Gift of Wonders. Jin grants allied troops with a certain chance of doing critical hits, which is even better. At the same time, Jin will get extra coins from battle. He drops a max of 13, a critical rate of 20%, and then the critical damage 420%, which is huge. So alone, that is amazing. He then also has Treasure Eruption, which Jin rubs his lamp erupting treasure within a certain range, dazzling all enemies within, stunning them in place, and increasing the attack damage of all allied troops within the range. Attack increase 52%, huge. And then the damage 2,400. Lasting damage count is 8, which is quite high. Damage interval 0.5, and the cooldown can go down to 9. So that alone, those two skills alone, put him easily in A. And honestly, I think he's better than Chioni. Now, we do have a legendary skill called Last Wish. Jin enchants allied troops, postponing their death for a certain period of time. Any allied troops buffed by Last Wish will not be debuffed upon Jin's death and will live the entire period of the buff. Now, this gives them immortality. At max level, it's basically just over a second of immortality. Now, in this game, a second can be the difference between winning and losing. Jin has really made some movements in recent sort of months and year, I guess. He is very achievable. You can get him. He's on the wheel. He's on the Cardmaster. He literally can hold off very high level units. And if he gets into the tiers I've discussed, the top level, 15, 16, 17, and going into those ranges, he is a formidable foe. I honestly think he is a low-level S rank because he's got so many benefits to him. He's good against monsters, which is like Cerberus. I use him against Cerberus if I'm not using Diana to use her like defense, remove the defense. Jin really does well in headhunting to get extra coins. He's brilliant for obviously generating coins with your normal fighting through level 1 to 8,000 and beyond. Honestly, Jin is one of those heroes that everybody should have in their harem of heroes. Another HH. Yeah, Jin, without a doubt, I think he is S grade. I'm putting him at low end S grade because in Arena I think there's that tipping point between certain heroes that he'll struggle with, kind of like what Chioni, Sion, Ali and Davidson do go through, but they have got the extra sort of bigger damages than Jin unfortunately has. He's got to really get those critical hits coming off, but without a doubt he's in the S rank for me. Next, Kraken. Now Kraken, I want to get this guy up a bit more because he has a very cool ability, which I will go through in a moment. Now, I find Kraken, he's a very specific hero. He's a hero that's going to be used in very niche areas. So for that reason, very much like Dracula and Freya, I think he does automatically come into low end B to start with. Kraken flies towards the enemy and ensnares a large number of enemy troops, dealing damage and stunning them, as well as providing himself with a powerful armor boost. That alone there justifies why he's in B. His defense increase at high level is 165%. It's insane. It's huge. It's the biggest percentage we've seen so far. His damage is 5,800 to this group of enemies. The cooldown can go down to 11, which is really good. Because so far we're seeing like 15 is like the average. He's got a passive skill. At the beginning of the battle, an Arctic tornado appears with the Kraken. Moving randomly, it causes continuous damage and slows enemies that it touches. After several hits, enemies will be frozen. So yet again, another justification why he's in B. And honestly, pushes him ahead of Freya, I think, because of the level of control that you can have over a field of battle here with Kraken. And Kraken is very handy, obviously, in very specific Infinity War, which is Zoo, which has a great deal of very high level, high health. So it's the Beast Masters. So gathering them all together to allow your other troops to cause damage to that area is a big advantage. Now, their movement speed reduction is 53%. Lasting damage, huge, 335, and damage intervals of 0.75 seconds. So not even a second, a third, 3/4 of a second. Then he's got Death Tentacle. Kraken stretches out multiple tentacles towards the enemy, dealing damage and causing stun effects. So even more, just like Davidson does, and just like Chioni does, and Jin does. They do that stunning effect. And then the number of units affected by this is only 14, which is such a shame. Like, we've seen so many heroes so far where they've affected multiple, like, double figures, like 20s, 30s, 40s, that sort of thing, where this is only 14. It's a bit disappointing. I would have thought that they would have given that a little bit more. And then the damage they can do is up to 2,400. And then, just like everybody else, the synergy, this is for wild, and this gives a damage received decrease damage resistance of 4%. And there's your 4%. So honestly, I think he is mid-B, without a doubt. All right. Next we have Poseidon, another Greek god. Here we have. I just realized they don't have Hades yet. They've got Zeus is in this game. They've got Poseidon. They've got Athena. Where the hell is Hades? And where the hell is Aphrodite. Okay, so Poseidon. I'm not even going to waste my time going through some of the stats on this guy, because honestly, I have fought level 17 3-star Poseidons with my level freaking like 10 Sion or Chion, and I decimate them. It's freaking insane. How can someone so powerful be so crap? Honestly, you are FTR. He really is. He's just like, I'll read out one of the stats for you. This is his main stat. Wave cleaving basically just as a wave that deals surrounding foes reduction of their attack speed. 32% is the max, and then the damage that does 1,200. 1,200. Yeah. So my honest opinion is he's an F tier character. He doesn't get used in other parts of the game. Rena, if you've got him, I'm going to attack you. If I see that you're 17 with 3 stars, even with my 14, I'm attacking you. I think this is the main point of it, is heroes that were great back maybe a couple of years ago and now so crap because of what changes have happened with the game, and then other heroes that have come in, they've just not kept up. And I think that's where someone like Poseidon, you're going up against someone who's then looking at numbers, which a lot of people will always think, well, the more bigger number I've got, the better chance I got of winning. This game is not like that. I have fought a battle where my power score was only 800,000 and I defeated someone with 1.4 million damage. All because I had the right hero, I had the right troops in the right positions, and I decimated his army that was nearly double my power level. And it does happen. So honestly, pick wisely. If a hero is unfortunately changed and been nerfed, then you do need to just move on, unfortunately. Next one. Oh, so many people are going to be loving this lady. We have got Selene. Oh, Selene. Now, Selene counters so many heroes, especially my main hero, which is coming up next, which is Xion Duak. I can never get her name right. Selene does so well. Now, Selene gathers the power of the moon and scatters it on the ground, binding the enemies in place and causing a lot of damage. Now, this damage is 8,500 damage. At max level, this lasts 9.2 seconds. And then the cooldown is 15. So if you activate that at the start, you've only got less than 6 seconds where that effect is not active, which is freaking insane. And that automatically takes her up into B group, without a doubt. Then she's got Moonlight Protection, which is at the start, Selene will open a barrier to make our unit immune to partial damage and increase attack power for a certain period of time. Attack increase 62%, another high amount, which is amazing. Immune to injury 75%. So here alone, from the start, Selene is providing so much power. And I honestly think, even though we've got Chione, whatever way you want to go with there, and she's got her freezing and slowing people down, this here is just, it's just like, it's like the chef kiss of the moment. Now, the next ability she has is every once in a while, I hate these sort of ones, every once in a while, Selene will mobilize the power of the moon to deal damage to the enemies in the front line and weaken their attack. Now, you got to understand, like, front line on most formations tend to be mage apprentices who just fly around, stone golems, meteor golems. You know, those tend to be at the front. They're not like high damage people, but The attack reduction is up to 27%. The damage it does is 2,500. So like you can't complain about that, but it's all about the formations. With the formations that people use, I don't feel that has a great benefit compared to the other abilities she has. And then she is a sacred, and this is all about her synergy being HP based, 4% increase to all those sacred heroes you have. So if you've got a lovely army of units like Frost Archers, maybe even Paladins, for a bit of that defense boost to your army, that can make a big difference in the overall picture of the fight. And here we have it, the hero that I literally committed to so early into the game after kind of getting my first legendary is her, and dumping 65,000 gems into Cardmaster. Go check out that video. God damn, I spent a lot. That's a very informative video, everybody. We have got my hero, who is currently level 14, with 7 shots to go to be my very first 15, which I will do a video, like just a clip of me going apeshit that I've just got a level 15, is Xion. And as we know, she is automatically an F tier. I can just hear people just go, what? No. Without a doubt, she is a high B. She pushes into A in certain circumstances, but unfortunately, and I know I've picked her as my main hero, I've committed, unfortunately, to it. And she will be my first hero. She is a human, so she is going to help me get all of my human troops to that level 10. But let's go through her stats and let's see where she actually should be and where she ends up, because you'll see what will happen now. But yeah, she'll be, you know what? I'll just save you time. It's just F tier. Even Charon is better than her. It's just without a doubt. I can just hear people in my clan go, "What? No, you're wrong." I toy. Okay, so first one, Holy Light Blessing. Queen Xiaoduke unleashes her divine power as she prays for healing of all friendly troops. The healing lasts for 6 seconds and requires Queen Xiaoduke to cast the spell continuously. During this time, Queen Xiaoduke is immune to control effects. So screw you, Frost Archers, and your bloody control effects. Now, the health recovery, 460 at max level. Maximum health regen is at 5.4%. So let's... Nope. I would say all my information is crashing out here. Go up. Hello. Trying to gather that information for you guys. And my phone is just like, what? No, don't want to work. But yes, so Xion has some crazy ass abilities when it comes to healing. Without a doubt, the best. Exactly. So many abilities that these heroes have makes a huge difference to it. Now, I will say that Xion does very well in arena. I would say he does okay throughout the game, 1 to 8,000 and plus. Does well in Infinity War, but like I've said before, ultimately Dracula is gonna outdo Xion. So, but ultimately, what you're looking for is Xion is your main healer, without a doubt. If you like healing, and that's why I picked her. I like healing builds. It was either that or range, but the ranges in this game were very poor, and Freya wasn't about when I was picking. But yeah, so her other abilities that she has a passive ability, which is normal attacks from friendly troops deal additional damage to enemies equivalent to 5% of the friendly troops' max health. For melee units, the additional damage has a small AoE effect, which is good for melee because melee doesn't have area of effect, but this adds it. The duration lasts for up to 8.2 seconds. The range is 15, which is massive. The range damage ratio is 22% as well. Holy Strike is the next ability, which is while the Holy Blessing skill is active, enemy troops are shrouded by divine power and all damage to enemies is increased by 24%. It's huge. And then you get that 4% boost for HP. Without a doubt, she is a high B, but for me, she is an A. She is an A, and I would... Gioni beats Sion. Celine beats Sion. Jin can beat Sion. Ali can beat Sion. Davison sucks versus Sion. Like, I've taken out so many high-level Davisons, it's insane. But there's too many heroes here that can take her out. So she is an A, but she ain't the best A. Next! As you can see, greyed out. I don't have him. Now then, this is Arthur. Now, Arthur, my boy. Arthur, and I will say, I've actually experienced some fights with Arthur, and he is pretty good, and he used to be, and I believe he used to be very good. He's got stone mode, which Arthur uses the power of the stone, causing damage and casting a shield that protects allies from several hits. After he uses this power, Arthur switches to Excalibur Radiance, which is his sword. Resistance is during 5 seconds. Damage is 2,000. And then Excalibur comes in at attack increase of 29%, damage of 2,000 as well. Then we've got a passive ability being immune to injury of up to 32%, which is huge. And then maximum health regen per second, 3.2%. So you got to imagine if you got a Stone Golem that's got like 80,000 health, 3% is a decent amount. Now, this other ability is Blade Storm. This gives a defense reduction of 35%. And then the damage is 9,000. Now, for me, experiencing, and then obviously he's got that 4% bonus at the end of the synergy, which is HP based again, which I like the HP one. Now, Arthur, I honestly think he's gone down in recent years, and I've heard people talk about it in like Reddit and Discord, which you should go check out the Reddit, which is Art of War Legions, and the Discord in the description below for myself and for the clan, the Hunters clan. Now, Arthur, and I came across him in a fight recently, and he really put up a fight against my Sion 14 and my army. I did end up outdoing him just by a bit, and to be fair with him, he was much higher than me. He was like a 15, I think he was like a 15 2-star or 15 3-star. He should be beating me, but I know how much more powerful these like 6 heroes up here are compared to how he was. So honestly, I think he's come down in recent months or maybe years since he was released, and I honestly think he's got great potential. And I would say that I'd probably put him in the sort of mid C's. That's where I would say he's about the mid C's. Now then, the next one, I really know very little about this one because I honestly don't see people using this person. And if I do, when I do attack them and they're high level, they just get decimated. They really get decimated. And I would say decimated by these top 6 here. This one is Nezha. And like looking at the damage they can do, up to 8,000 at max level. Lasting damage is 775. We've got cooldown of 13. We've then got a passive ability for every 10% of HP loss. So you've got to lose your life. 5% damage reduction and immunity goes to your army. Damage of 3,600. Immunity of 10%. It's not really worth it. Trigger HP percentage at 9% max level. It all just sounds very poor. I haven't experienced too much of them in fights. Maybe arena, I've seen them maybe once or twice, and I've been playing 9 months. And yeah, and I don't see them drop this. I think they're on Cardmaster every now and again. But the problem with Cardmaster is you'll have this person up with Kraken, Dracula, Selene, and these top 6. Like you're not. Yeah, you're just not. Like Poseidon is better than you. You know what, Poseidon? I've moved you up. You're top F, bruh. And I hear tell that Nezha is a budget Kraken. So if you've got the choice of Kraken and Cardmaster, you go for them. But don't go for them. Alright, the next one. We've got Ivan. Now, Ivan is that character that everybody seems to go for. He's he's on the route of pay to win. Because they're even now I'm looking on there. Oh yeah, look, your first top up. There we go. You can get Thunder King Ivan if you buy. Not many free to play players will have Ivan. You will have had to spend money at some point. Now Ivan, whenever I see him in arena, even if he is 15 plus, I do fight him. And 9 times out of 10, I beat him. Ivan is... He does do quite a bit of damage. He really does. So I think he's got that benefit of like over like Arthur. Honestly, I think Ivan, because he's like the pay to guy, he's like here. He is powerful and he can do some massive damage. 15,000 at top level, cooldown of 14, movement speed of 30% at max, attack speed reduction of 20%, lasting damage of 680, pretty in the middle, and intervals of 1 second. Then he's got his storm, which you see a lot, which is only a damage of 800. If that was more, maybe he would still be good. And then he's got the 4% on normal attack and skill attacks for humans. Now, honestly, I think he is C grade at the moment with those attacks and the damage and the 15. But because you have to you can't get him via normal means, you've got to basically buy him. And the chances of you getting him are so limited. I am actually throwing him in top D. He doesn't deserve to be in C, I don't think. But people do people do go for him. Maybe it's just because he's promoted as your first booster pack and things like that. Just not for me. Now, Mephisto. Now, anybody who knows me knows I love the game Diablo. Diablo is all about Diablo, Baal, and Mephisto. And Mephisto in that game is so good. He is the Lord of Hatred. Mephisto in this game is indeed the Lord of Hatred, and probably where people got like the reference of, obviously Mephisto is a god of mythology. He's such a letdown. He is obtainable. He's often on Cardmaster. He's often in the arena passes. But I think it's where he gets let down is his damages and things like that. Mephisto roars and will cause damage to the enemy for 6,500. His health can increase by 17%. Not his health, sorry. His the friendly troops. Attack increased by 22. Extra health increased by 16%. Extra damage increased by 21%. Resurrect level. This is 9. So after several attacks, Mephisto will resurrect a dead dark troop as a demon to continue fighting. Now, demons... I see them in Arena a lot. And I don't know why people use them so much, because there are so many better units to use, because Demon is just a one single unit where you can literally get a 9-prong army troop into that one slot. So to resurrect a dark unit into a demon, I don't see the benefit mainly. And then you've got the normal attack and skill attack increase for dark units 4%. Now Mephisto, I think you've had the short straw out of the demons. I'm sorry, but honestly, I think you are D-grade, and no, even Apollo's better than you, to be honest, because I go up against some people with Mephisto and he just dies so fast. It's insane. Troops just swarm him and then he's gone. Now, not many people will know this guy at all, because he's like unobtainable right now. Where the frick do you get him? Like, coming soon, basically. Odin is not even in the game yet. Well, he is, but he's not. So we're only going to speculate with Odin, okay? So nobody has him, nobody's fought him. We can only go on his stats. So starting off, he is sacred. He is a mage, so he's magical. Odin uses the Eternal Gun to release super light, penetrating the enemies in the light and causing high damage to them. Now, this sounds very similar to Apollo, using his beam. Now, lasting damage is 2,500. It's pretty weak. Lasting damage count 10, which is high. That's the highest we've come across. Damage interval, though, is 0.1 second. So, in 1 second, you have done lasting damage of 100. In 1 second, it's crazy. So that is pretty good. Cooldown can go to 10 at max level. Then you've got God's Blessing, which is a passive skill. Odin blesses allied units, increasing their maximum health and attack. Maximum health increases by 22%, attack by 22%. Both pretty good. Like, could be a lot better, especially how rare he might be. Then, ignore defense damage, legendary victory throw. At the beginning of the battle, Odin throws clones of the spear Gungnir around our formation. The clones will deal lasting ignore defense damage within a certain range. Lasting damage of 700. Lasting damage count 15, that's the highest now, in damage intervals of 1. So that's very good. And then you've got the synergy, which is for sacred. Attack, normal attack and skill attack 4%. Now, I'm going to speculate with this one. Odin sounds very much like how Freya is turning out to be. So I honestly think that Odin may be in the B tier. And this is all speculation. Everybody's going to probably have their opinion. But I think that's where it probably would sit. Especially with that attack and health boost compared to what Apollo is suffering with. I think low B at the moment. That's where he's sitting. Now then, we got Beowulf. Now Beowulf, he's a badass of Norse mythology. So why did they make him so crap? Now, Beowulf, Wrath of the Berserker. Beowulf taunts to attract enemies and gains temporary defense while he rapidly spins his sword, moving towards the center of the battlefield, inflicting damage. Now, that's quite a cool effect. I haven't come across too many Beowulfs in Arena, probably because they're not very much high-level Beowulfs out there. The damage he does is lasting damage of 1,050 at max level now. Lasting damage count 6, very poor. Damage intervals are 0.5 seconds and a cooldown of 12. Very lackluster. Passive skill is every time Beowulf is hit by a basic attack, his armor and attack damage increases. He also restores maximum health per second. So his attack increase is up to 12%. So poor. His defense increase is up to 4.5%. This is max level. It's so bad. Maximum health regen per second, 0.9%. It's just so bad. You put all that time into creating him top level and he's not even got a decent percentage increase. Now, he's got Shield Assault. Beowulf summons a huge shield that absorbs a set amount of damage. It also grants him a chance to perform a counter attack that deals true damage. Shield power of 2,800. Counter attack rate is 30% chance. Counter attack damage is 56% of obviously said damage. It just sounds so poor for the sort of hero he is. He does come up on Card Master quite a bit. He is a human, which there are quite a lot of human heroes out on this game that are way better than him. Honestly, this is pushing him way down for me. I honestly think he is probably just a bit better than Mephisto there. He's in mid D for me, I think. I just can't see why anybody would put too much time and money into them. All right, so now we come to the one. Azrael. Now, I have never fought Azrael. I know I've only played 9 months. The only people getting Azrael are the top 10, like top 5, top 10 players in the game, in Arena. It is the reward you get for being in the top. So there's a lot of assumptions, especially from what I can tell, on how good he is. He's clearly got to be a good unit. So by the rarity of him, of getting him, you've got to consider him to be a good unit, I'd hope. Now, the abilities we're going to go through in a bit more detail. Blade of Soul Devourer, magic damage. Azrael wields a sickle to cut out a fierce light wave to harvest souls, causing damage to enemies in front of him in a straight line and absorbing HP. Damage, 8,500. Pretty good. He has a lifesteal percentage of 20% and a cooldown of 5. That's automatically putting you into an A. Now, next skill is passive. Azrael exhales the death breath of hell, causing continuous damage to enemies every second. Health reduction per second, 2.6%. So every second someone is losing 2.6 health. So a stone golem with 90,000, that health is going to drain quick. Which I'm already pushing you up into top A here. I think the only reason I won't put you in S is just because of how unobtainable you are. Now then, Decisive Strike kills enemies when their HP is lower than a certain value. Instant death threshold. At max level, 22%. That's insane. So if an enemy unit is less than 22% health, it instantly dies. That's freaking insane. I think it's got to be low S tier. It's got to be low S tier because I can't put him top. I don't know. He's got to be... No, he can't be an S. The only reason he would be an S is if he could be obtainable by any sort of means of luck in a chest somewhere. Even like a 1% chance of luck. But because you've got to be the top 5 or top 10 best players in the world and they're the only ones that get this card, that's why I'm putting it in top A, because it doesn't deserve the S grade because of how ridiculously rare he is. His then synergy is health based, which is yet another positive. Like, Azrael is clearly a top end dark unit, and is clearly powerful, but I've never fought any of them. I've never seen him on the field. So it just shows that even the best players in the game haven't got him strong enough for them to swap him out for their Davisons or their Alis or their Jins and Celines and whatever. All right, so next one we got Monkey. I know one person in my clan loves the monkey. It's Wukong. So Wukong is shit. He basically could do an attack damage of 7,400, cooldown of 6 seconds, which is pretty good actually. Not bad damage. Then you've got increased hero attack speed and power. Without a doubt, attacks increase at the max level 95%. So basically nearly doubles your attack speed. Your attack increase, sorry. And then your attack speed up by 70%. It's insane. So you double your damage and double your nearly double your, or over double actually, your attack speed. It's crazy. And then he's got the Monkey King makes his body like iron and steel, becoming immune to some damage, immune to injury, 55%. Honestly, Monkey Boy, you are, I'd say middle here. I'd say here. We have got one hero left. And I would say best to last, but clearly wasn't. We have got Zeus. Yes, bring Hades. Where is he? All right. So, Zeus. I have fought quite a few Zeuses. Zeusai, you may say. Zeus is pretty fucking weak when I fight him with Sion. Or Xion. Or whatever. I can never say her name. I have to commit to one of them. Now, Zeus, he's a hero that is... you'll get him in hero bundles. You've got to buy him most of the time. So already, drop down. D. And I even put... I put you probably like here. You're powerful. He is powerful. He's got lightning damage of 3,400. He can affect 12 units at the same time with that. A cooldown of 15, which pretty much is standard. He then has a passive skill that increases attack speed by 22%, attack reduction by 32%, and damage by 1,700. Pretty just average. Then he's got ignore the defense, so it's percent max health damage of 11%, maximum damage of 5,000 for the Wrath of the God, and then he's got the 4% on normal attacks and skill attacks for sacred units. So because he's like a pay to guy, I think Zeus is he is literally in the sort of D range here. At least with Ivan, he does hold up quite well. I find the most people I've attacked that are high level, 15 plus, with stars, I do take out their and I'm just below 1 million power on my Sion 14. She's level 14. And I'm doing like 980,000 power, and I'm taking down the like Zeus 15 plus 15 3 stars, and with obviously an army of 8s and 9s and 10s, just because I don't think he just has enough to take him on. So honestly, I think he's in the D range. Is he better? He's probably better than he's kind of maybe here then. Like these guys, they're obtainable. These guys are not really as much attainable unless you want to use money. But for free to play, which is what I do, I would probably put them further down. But they're in the D range, without a doubt. So that is the legendary one. That is a much longer video, and I do thank each and every one of you that has lasted this long into this video. And I hope any of that information is handy for you. And I hope you liked the tier list that I've done for the heroes across the rare video, the epic video, and the legendary video that you're watching right now. And if you have any comments on the list itself, or just any other content that you would like me to cover in the Art of War universe, please let me know in the comment section below. And don't forget to like all 3 of these videos. And if you haven't already done so, please click the subscribe button, because every part of support that you can give to the channel will just help more and more people see the content here. So thanks again, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Wellity, well. There we go. I think my phone actually like overheated and froze up during the during the Sion chat, because I was like, shit, she heals. What else does she do? But yeah, that is all of the heroes, and I honestly think that legendary layout there is not far off where everything kind of lies. I think there's probably like a couple of moves here and there that I think some people are like, well, I'd probably put that person there and that person just down. I don't think there's any dramatic moves. Like, if anybody thinks Ivan or Arthur should be in like B and above, is insane. But yeah, thank you everybody so much for coming by, dropping likes, sharing with other people, and sharing your comments in chat. I really do appreciate it. I will catch up briefly with chat now, just to see obviously what's been going on. And yeah, you guys have been awesome. I know nearly 3 hours now of just chatting about positions of units. But yes, this is by no means an easy thing to do, but I am Welsh. I can talk for fucking ever, and my wife certainly says that I can talk forever. So yeah, just catch up here. I know a few people will have gone by now. Thank you so much for my mod from back in the day on my Twitch channel, for coming by and checking out and catching up there. Really sorry I couldn't chat too much while I was going through all of that video section, but I'm glad that the game is interesting you, to at least pick it up, maybe just to have it as even just a toilet pastime. Let's have a look. And thank you again, Buster, for being so informative in chat as well, with everybody that's come in and obviously had a few questions and things like that. And I did see a couple of nuggets of information that really helped me during some of the hero chats that we were going through. So much appreciated. Tom, so I'm sure I saw Hades advertised at one point. Oh, did they discontinue him and replace him with Charon? Because Charon is obviously the ferryman within the underworld. Hades is his boss, basically. Yeah, and we do know that there are 50 heroes going to be. So we are currently at 41 heroes. So there's still 9 heroes to come. So cross fingers, Hades is going to be one of them. I really want, if Mephisto was based on the Diablo series, I really want them to bring in Diablo and then Baal, the Lord of Destruction and the Lord of Terror. Lord of Terror would work so well in this game, like scaring enemies away. That'd be so fucking cool. Like literally, they all the enemies charge towards you, and then Diablo just goes "Rah!" and they all just run. That would be such a cool thing to see. A lot of the original heroes that were great were forgotten about as hero levels increased and new heroes were made available. Yeah, and I think, yeah, I did briefly see that when we were talking about Poseidon going into F. You what, mate? Oh, that was definitely me putting Xion into F. Even though I've been playing for 3 years, much respect to you, Buster. Your knowledge is insane, and every time we cross communicate in Reddit, I do appreciate the depth you go into. Even when someone does ask like a one-line question, your synopsis of it is insane, and I tip my hat to you on that. It's still great to be reminded of on how some of the heroes work. Oh, Buster, well, I'm glad that even someone like you, who is very knowledgeable about the game, has enjoyed just going through this process of seeing all the different heroes and seeing them in their own brackets. Because I think that's where a lot of people would have just gone here. They would have just gone, shit, or he's middle, he's okay, he's shit, she's shit, he's okay, okay, and he's okay, and then that would be right if you're comparing to these guys, but I don't think it gives them justice. Because a lot of these heroes deserve the kind of like the praise of their unique abilities within different areas. Like I've actually spent a bit of gems unlocking extra formation slots because I like setting things out. So I've got a Cerberus set up. I've got an Infinity War one. I've got Infinity War changes every day, and I will always change it. But what I like doing is setting it up, and then the next day my first attack is literally the same setup as the day before, and then that gives me a benchmark of formation for the new setup. And I've had it where I've done like green belt, and then I've done zoo, and the same formation easily unlocks all rewards, which is, it's easy. It only takes a couple of seconds, and you don't have to mess around with the formation. I'll just go a bit. I'm not in the same clan as elves though. Yeah, I don't hear the truth. Edward is a very tolerant of players befriending and even supporting and helping other players in other clans. You don't find too many games with such a nice community. No, exactly. That's 100% it. It was the Sion comment. He's grabbing his budget, and 3 hours of recording and talking. I tip my hat to yourself. Thank you, Buster. I do appreciate it, and a huge thank you to everybody that's come by the stream and put up with me going through all that information. So I will bid you adieu for this lovely evening, and I will see you guys either in the next video or the next stream. And if you guys do have any suggestions for any content you'd like just highlighted in the Art of War community, please let me know in the comments of any of my videos or streams, and I will speak to you soon. See you, everybody. Bye bye.